How did you get into drawing then?
I remember the first thing I remember wanting to do was I wanted to do like animation stuff, and I can just remember like my folks just sort of being like, "That's not a real job, you can't do that." And I always like doodled when I was like younger, but I only really started drawing a lot like when we took on the Royal Park, and I was just like we need posters. I had like this Wacom tablet thing. I think I got it off eBay for like 30 quid. You couldn't like turn it round, you know what I mean? So you wanted to like do something against the arc of your hand, you just had to draw it unnaturally.
Yeah.
But I think actually that ended up being really useful. That now when I'm tattooing, it's like,
oh, okay.
Like you can't just pick your customer up and turn them around. You know what I mean? So it has actually meant that I've got a bit more control than I probably would have done. But I mean, like, I was really stupid with that thing anyway, because I didn't figure out that you could rotate the canvas on Photoshop for about 4 years, I think, when I was doing that.
I'm assuming the way we probably approach most things in life.
Smash your head against it.
I figure if I do this, then this, then this, that'll make sense. Yeah. That thing of like just finding your own way.
Yeah. We don't even think about it though, do you? It's just like, all right, like, here's the problem.
Yeah.
What solution can I manage to like pull out of my hoop, like, and then just
with what little resources I've got.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Like, you know, things won't always be good, but like, you know, at some point they might be all right.
Yeah,
and that's good enough for a lot of people.
It's the DIY way.
Yeah,
I think that's what I'm connecting the dots with a lot of the time, is that people that have come from that scene, that have like, say, been in the bands, they know the DIY music scene, but then they're doing other things now. That shit follows them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
it doesn't matter what it is in life, whether it's kitchen work, whether it's office work, or just anything. Yeah. It's a definite approach. I think it's almost that like you've found that you kind of modelled your way through this before, so maybe that's how you try everything now.
When it actually came to sorting out tattoo shop and stuff, it was just like every single thing that I needed to know how to do, aside from the tattooing bit, it was just like, oh shit, I know how to do that. And it was just like, oh, I know how to do that as well. Like,
it's all of those, the minutiae of all of those things that you don't have to pay out is the point, isn't it? So suddenly
it's just like a load of little bits that I just sort of thought was wasted time over the years, and I was like, you know, like sulking about it basically. And I was just like, oh, actually, I haven't been wasting my time, because I've learned various small, seemingly useless tasks that have just like come together to mean that like that whole thing wasn't anywhere near as much of a nightmare as it probably should have been. You know, like,
so when did Crow, the tattoo studio, come together then?
So that were just over 3 years ago.
And this is with your lass?
Yeah, with Tasha, yeah, and Ren. Yeah, it's just the three of us.
So how did that come about though? Because nice, you know, you and you to the shtick, obviously.
So like Tasha she'd been tattooing for sort of 9-10 years, and then she had the tattooing down, but just didn't really know much of the other stuff. And then I had the other stuff down and didn't know about the tattooing, so it was just like, right, well, if you really want to do this, then tell you what, I'll do the other stuff. You teach me to tattoo. We'll meet in the middle, and we'll just sort of do the thing. And like, yeah, I think it worked out pretty well, because I think like, you know, if I'd have wanted to go down the sort of more traditional apprenticeship route, like I'd never really had the amount of time that you'd need to be able to like, you know, like just, you know, go work at a shop for nothing for 6 to 8 months before anyone will even let you look at a machine, if at all.
So how long had you wanted to, or had a curiosity around the tattooing then?
Well, I think, to be honest, like after a couple of years of Tasha doing it, I was just like, oh, actually, shit, that'd be really good. But like, also, I was really scared. You know what I mean? Like, it was a really like nerve-wracking thing, and I think like,
well, you're inducing pain on people. That's a fucking
and you can't fuck it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, like, you can't fuck it up.
It's a hell of a lot of self-confidence you got to have.
Like, you know, you got to really commit.
Yeah.
To doing stuff. So like, you know, I think I really liked the idea of it, but you know, it also terrified me quite a lot. What really sort of kind of pushed me over the edge with it was like, you know, like after I sort of made the decision to fuck off drinking and stuff, and like that was really hard. You know what I mean? It was really hard to do. It was like a massive part of pretty much every sort of social interaction that I had up to that, you know, from being a teenager up to that point. And it wasn't an easy thing to do. But then, so like after that, I was just like, well, fucking hell, if I can manage that, then, you know, like stabbing people for a bit during the day, like, you know, it's probably not that bad. You know what I mean? Like, it made it a little bit easier anyway. Well, it's the same as like playing gigs and stuff. You know, you gotta have a bit of a deep breath, have a bit of a word with yourself. You know, kind of like shake yourself off. And it's just like, right, okay. And here we are.
It's a beautiful moment when you get to that stage when you realise you're not nervous.
Parade of grafters.
Your teeth and go! Ding, ding.